Genghis Khan is remembered as one of the most feared and influential figures in human history. To some, he was a brutal conqueror who left cities in ashes and millions dead. To others, he was a visionary leader who united tribes, created laws, promoted merit over birth, and built the largest contiguous empire the world has ever seen. His life is a story of survival, ambition, violence, and transformation, a story that reshaped the course of Eurasian history. He was born around 1162 on the windswept steppes of Mongolia and given the name Temujin. At the time, Mongolia was not a unified land, but a fractured world of nomadic tribes locked in endless rivalry. Life on the steppe was harsh, winters were deadly, food was scarce, and survival depended on strength, loyalty, and skill. Temujin's early life was marked by tragedy. His father, a tribal leader, was poisoned by enemies when Temujin was still a boy. Soon after, his family was abandoned by their own tribe, left to starve on the open steppe. Temujin, his mother, and his siblings survived by hunting, gathering roots, and enduring extreme hardship. These early experiences forged his character and shaped his ruthless understanding of power and loyalty. As a young man, Temujin experienced betrayal and captivity. He was captured by a rival tribe and enslaved, forced to wear a wooden collar meant to humiliate and restrain him. Against all odds, he escaped. This escape became a turning point, proving to himself and others that he was destined for more than survival. Slowly, he began gathering followers, not through noble birth, but through personal loyalty and proven ability. Unlike traditional tribal leaders, Temujin rewarded merit rather than lineage. Warriors who showed skill, discipline, and loyalty rose through his ranks, regardless of their background. Temujin's rise was not peaceful. The Mongol steppe was a battlefield of shifting alliances and bloody feuds. Former friends became enemies, and enemies became allies. One of his greatest rivals was Jamuka, once his close companion. Their struggle represented two visions of Mongol leadership. Jamuka supported aristocratic rule, while Temujin believed power should be earned. After years of war, Temujin defeated Jamuka. With this victory, he eliminated the last major obstacle to unifying the Mongol tribes. In 1206, Temujin was declared Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. For the first time, the Mongol tribes were united under a single leader. This moment marked the birth of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan immediately began reshaping Mongol society. He introduced a legal code known as the Yasa, which enforced strict discipline, loyalty, and order. Theft, betrayal, and disobedience were harshly punished. At the same time, the law protected religious freedom and ensured that envoys and messengers were respected, an unusual concept in medieval warfare. Genghis Khan transformed the Mongol army into the most effective fighting force the world had ever seen. Mongol warriors were expert horsemen, capable of shooting arrows accurately while riding at full speed. Their army was highly disciplined, organized into units based on decimal systems. Communication was fast, tactics were flexible, and intelligence gathering was constant. They used psychological warfare masterfully, spreading fear before battles even began. Cities that resisted were often destroyed entirely, while those that surrendered were usually spared. The Mongol conquests began close to home. Genghis Khan first targeted rival tribes and neighboring kingdoms in northern China. The Jin dynasty, which ruled much of northern China, underestimated the Mongols. What followed was a devastating series of campaigns that exposed the weaknesses of settled civilizations against mobile steppe warfare. Cities fell one by one. Siege warfare, once a Mongol weakness, became a strength as they absorbed engineers and tactics from conquered peoples. One of the most defining moments of Genghis Khan's reign came with his war against the Khwarezmian Empire, which controlled large parts of Central Asia. Initially, Genghis Khan sought peaceful trade relations, but when Mongol envoys were murdered by Khwarezmian officials, he saw it as an unforgivable insult. His response was swift and merciless. The Mongol armies swept across Central Asia, destroying major cities such as Bukhara, Samarkand, and Urgench. The scale of destruction was unprecedented. Entire populations were massacred, irrigation systems ruined, and once great cities reduced to ruins. These campaigns earned Genghis Khan his reputation as a symbol of terror. Modern historians estimate that millions may have died during the Mongol conquests, yet brutality was only one side of his legacy. Genghis Khan also encouraged trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. Under Mongol rule, the Silk Road flourished as never before. Merchants, scholars, and travelers moved safely across vast distances. Ideas, technologies, and goods flowed between East and West, connecting civilizations that had once been isolated. Genghis Khan ruled not from palaces, but from the saddle of his horse. He lived simply, sharing the same hardships as his soldiers. He promoted religious tolerance, allowing Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and others to practice freely within his empire. Skilled artisans, engineers, and scholars were often spared during conquests and relocated to serve the empire. In this way, destruction and creation existed side by side in Mongol rule. Despite his power, Genghis Khan remained deeply shaped by the steppe culture of his youth. Loyalty was sacred, betrayal unforgivable. Family mattered, yet he did not hesitate to eliminate relatives who threatened unity. He divided his empire among his sons, ensuring continuity after his death. His leadership style was personal, direct, and uncompromising. In 1227, during a campaign against the Western Shah kingdom, Genghis Khan died. The exact cause of his death remains unknown, surrounded by legend and secrecy. According to tradition, his burial site was kept hidden, and anyone who witnessed the burial was killed to preserve the secret. To this day, his tomb has never been found. After his death, the Mongol Empire did not collapse. Under his sons and grandsons, it expanded even further. His grandson Kublai Khan would go on to rule China as emperor of the Yuan dynasty. At its height, the Mongol Empire stretched from Eastern Europe to the Pacific Ocean, covering nearly a quarter of the Earth's land surface. It reshaped borders, economies, and cultures across continents.
Genghis Khan's legacy is complex and controversial. He was responsible for immense suffering and destruction, yet he also laid the foundations for globalization centuries before the modern era. He broke down feudal hierarchies, promoted meritocracy, and connected civilizations through trade and communication. Genetic studies suggest that millions of people today may be descended from him, a testament to the scale of his influence. In Mongolia, Genghis Khan is remembered as a national hero, the father of the nation. Statues, airports, and institutions bear his name. In other parts of the world, he remains a symbol of devastation. History struggles to categorize him as either villain or visionary because he was undeniably both. Genghis Khan was not simply a conqueror, he was a force of change. He emerged from poverty and exile to command an empire without equal. He shattered old worlds and unknowingly helped create a new, interconnected one. His life reminds us that history is not shaped by simple heroes or villains, but by individuals whose actions echo across centuries. More than 800 years after his death, the name Genghis Khan still carries power. It represents fear and ambition, destruction and unity, chaos and order. His story is not just the story of a man, but of how one individual, born in hardship, can alter the destiny of the world itself. If you want more stories of figures who reshaped history, subscribe to the channel and keep exploring the past with us.